What's up, guys? So Fallout Season 2 officially wrapped last night, so I wanted to kind of give my full thoughts and review on the season as a whole and just kind of what I thought about it. There will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen the finale yet, go watch that first, but let's get right into it. Overall, I really did enjoy this season. I think it's just as good as Season 1, if not better, mainly because now we're fully invested into these characters. We understand who they are, what kind of drives them, and what, they're willing to do to kind of survive. And that gives the story more breathing room to actually move forward from where Season 1 kind of left off. This was especially important because, Season 2 is juggling a lot of storylines. Like, you got Maximus and the Brotherhood storyline, Norm and the Vault management team, Vaults 31 and 33, Hank's larger plan, and, of course, Lucy and the Ghoul, whose storylines constantly kind of intersect and split apart throughout the season. Most of these characters aren't together for that majority of the season, which honestly was a little worrisome, but I think the show does a solid job of balancing that and everything eventually kind of bringing it all together by the end. The pacing definitely feels faster this season, and I like that a lot. If basically one storyline isn't totally grabbing you, then the show kind of quickly shifts to another one. So there's always something interesting happening. One of the highlights for me was Lucy and Ghoul's dynamic throughout the season, and seeing them together more of the season was great. Lucy's optimism clashing with the Ghoul's cynical, hardened view of the wasteland kind of creates more genuinely funny and emotional moments, and Lucy chooses to see the good in him, while the Ghoul initially just kind of sees her as a tool and someone he can kind of use to just find his family, even if that means kind of turning her in as like a bargaining chip later. But over time, that relationship kind of shifts, and Lucy begins to understand why the Ghoul is the way he is. And by the end of the season, especially after the confrontation with Hank, they reach like a mutual respect with one another. That moment where like the Ghoul saves Lucy after he literally punches him out a window felt like a very big turning point for their relationship. What makes their relationship so interesting too is that the Ghoul's treatment of Lucy isn't really about her. She kind of represents who he used to be, someone who tried to do the right thing, tried to help people, and tried to stop the bombs from falling. And in his mind, that righteousness got him punished, and he gave cold fusion to the wrong people. The world still ended, and everything he loved was taken from him. So Lucy is a constant reminder of that failure. That said, my one concern with the Ghoul storyline is that, outside the flashbacks and character development, he kind of ends the season back where he started the end of the season 1 with, still searching for his family. I really hope this doesn't turn into like a multi-season loop of the same Ghoul. It works in Fallout 4, but in a long-running TV show, that could get stale fast, and I'm really hoping season 3 gives us some real movement there. Now, surprisingly, my favorite storyline this season was Maximus, and that's funny because in the first season, his character, I wasn't as invested in, but season 2 gives him so much more to do. He's more capable, more confident, and much more dangerous in the wasteland. And his Brotherhood arc was excellent. Watching him go from fully loyal to completely betraying them and stealing cold fusion was wild, and this man literally took down an entire fleet. And we also get way more power armor action this season, which is awesome. And also him fighting the Deathclaws in the finale was definitely a highlight. And that ending where Maximus finally reunites with Lucy after searching for her all season felt incredibly satisfying, especially when it kind of contrasted with where the Ghoul ends up at the end of the season. I also really enjoyed seeing more of Thaddeus. I know he's a very divisive character, but I think he fits this Fallout universe perfectly. His relationship with Maximus evolving from like bullying him to genuinely being like a loyal friend for him, I think is great. And whatever is happening to his body after the chemicals he took in season 1 is very interesting as well. It's clear he's not turning into a Ghoul, so I'm curious where they kind of take that next with him. I've seen people theorize he's becoming a centaur, and honestly, if that's the case, that's pretty rough for him. Speaking of monsters, the Deathclaws were fantastic. For a TV budget, they did an impressive job balancing like practical effects with CGI Deathclaws. And, because they're very iconic in the games, and so it was important to kind of get that right. And that opening flashback scene with Cooper first sees one in the war segment is a great setup, and the payoff when we finally see them fully revealed, towering over the ruins, was worth the wait. They do look a little janky in certain action moments, but overall I was really impressed with the look and design they gave them. Now, for some of the things I was kind of more mixed on, I wasn't totally sold on the Hank storyline continuing, Robert House's mind control experiments. It felt a little underwhelming for me given how much season 1 set that up, and by the end of season 2, it doesn't really go anywhere yet. With Hank now alive but mentally wiped, and I'm curious what they plan to do with this character. But if it ends, like, if that story just ends there, I will be a little bit pretty disappointed. I was also bummed we didn't get more of, like, Robert House. The marketing really made it feel like he was going to be a big villain this season, but he mostly just appears in flashbacks. The actor does a great job, and the final tease with his face glitching on the screen makes it clear they're not done with him yet. But I just wish we did get more of him this season since he was big in the marketing. The Vault storylines are another mixed bag for me. Characters like Stephanie and Chet are entertaining, but their arc doesn't really go anywhere until the very end when it's kind of revealed, Stephanie is working for the Enclave, which makes sense, but still felt like a late payoff, and I often found myself wanting to get back to more of the Wasteland stuff than kind of focusing on that part of the story. And finally, Norm, I really like the character and the actor, but he feels very underutilized this season. His storyline with the Vault management team doesn't lead to much, and his arc feels the most disconnected from the rest of the show. I really hope Season 3 finds a way to pull him into a main narrative and eventually reunite him with Lucy, since they haven't even seen each other since the very first episode of Season 1. So overall, I did give Fallout Season 2 an 8.5 out of 10. The performances are fantastic. The world building is still incredible. And while the show sometimes struggles with juggling too many storylines, it's still one of the best video game adaptations I think we've gotten in a while. But what did you guys think? Did Season 2 live up to Season 1, or were you let down? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more movie and TV show content. Thanks, guys.